My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today, we're doing something a little different, really. Like, occasionally we do these little sort of informative episodes where, we're speaking to some of the newer people who may have been new to the, Korean entertainment scene and may not, realize some of the mechanics of it and some of the things that, if you've been around for a while, is more familiar to you. And today...
For the older fans, too, who just don't get it.
I'm saying you're new to the fandom, not you're new to existing. You're new...
I just meant, sometimes there are things in a fandom that everybody knows and everybody gets it, and you've been around for too long to ask, but, they don't, So, I see that sometimes. I feel embarrassed to, ask, because...
Well,
I've been here for 5 years or whatever.
We are an embarrassment-free zone here. No question is a dumb question, usually.
I mean, no.
Well, that
just invites things, and I'm not
about
that.
That does invite dumb questions, but not having knowledge is not something to be embarrassed about, so we are here to help you, and today's topic of things we are going to talk about is fursonas. No, I'm kidding. It's actually about animals, how they relate to various K-pop groups and things. Though technically, a fursona could be an accurate description, but without the furry connotations of what we're going with. Who's gonna take it away? Someone far more familiar with this phenomenon than I. I'm aware of it, but I myself have much to learn, so...
Well, I think it's also, worth noting just kind of that it's not necessarily a thing in every fandom. I think now it's getting a little bit more, especially with social media, that they're appearing more, but it's okay if you haven't heard it, because not all, fandoms actually ascribe to this, animals thing. There are a lot of groups that just don't even talk about it, or, they're a fandom doesn't even talk about it. So it kind of varies on what fandom you're talking about if they show up. When I was looking, because I was looking at trying to find the research on what would be considered the first fandom to do this, I couldn't really find anything solidified. I don't know if anybody else did. If I were to make an educated guess, it would be 2PM. At least in the respect of what they did with it, because they were the first to capitalize on it. Not a lot of groups, even today, it's not a thing that they're actually using it for merchandise. The fandom is, so fan art merchandise, but in terms of the actual official license stuff, not a lot of people are doing it, and especially not at that time that 2PM was doing it. So essentially what we're talking about when we're talking about these animals that you kind of see a lot is the fandom will talk about specific members of the group in reference to an animal. And there's a lot of different ways why that happens. And I think some of the main reasons are, especially when you see it on social media, is just easeability. So all you have to do is throw up an emoji when you're talking about a person. You don't have to give up your character limit for that. Also, translators, it's easier for them too, because that's part of their character limits when they're translating things. So there's a lot of different reasons why people do it, and I think mostly when you see it on social media, it's mostly so you can have a quick reference as opposed to actually spelling out someone's name in your tweet. It's kind of shorthand for most fandoms.
And I will say, even if you've been in a fandom for quite some time, and even if you're actually really well acquainted with the various animals that people symbolize or whatever, sometimes a translator might pick a random animal that not everyone always knows really what's going on. Sometimes you just take it for what it is and you just move on. It's cool,
because there's a lot of different ways that people are assigned to these things, to their specific characters, and especially if it's not a mandated thing through the company. A lot of times it's based on very arbitrary things that could be multiple things, or could be in the eye of the beholder. Like, you know, it could be someone's personality or what they look like, but that could change, or it could be their actual favorite animal, but they also could have multiple animals or something like that. So it kind of, there are some gray areas, and I think like especially if your fandom doesn't have merch associated with it, it like does end up kind of being like a little bit more of like a free for all. But like for the most part too, I also think that a lot of people or fandoms kind of just settle into who's given what, especially because nowadays I think that they just think it's, you have to do it, like it's just like part of the fandom, like that's just another thing you have to do in the fandom along with everything else.
And I think if you're a multi, like we all are, especially if you're a multi who doesn't really have like an alt group over another one, like keeping all of your bunnies and your bears and your everything straight is a lot. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Like, so I'll be reading like the translated conversations and I'm like, I don't know who said any of that. Like, I just know the conversation happened because I don't know who's the bear and who's the bunny and who's the hamster and who's the, I don't know, but like still it was a funny conversation. Okay, I'm sure I'm missing something, some context by not knowing who's who, but you know, there's like one or two people that I can remember, yeah, like they're a bear or whatever, but otherwise whatever, it's cute.
It also doesn't help that like they're roughly the same types of animals, and obviously that's because, you know, emojis are pretty limited, and at least when they first started were pretty like limited. You know, you'll find a bunch of different dogs or puppies. Like there's one of them like, for every group.
Yeah, and there's only so many, even with all the emojis there are now. There's really only so many, you know. There's gonna be some overlap.
Like nobody's utilizing those like zebra emojis or those like most of the dinosaur emojis I feel like are going on like it's a travesty. Yeah, that's the word.
I think also that kind of like just is in like, especially if your phone carrier might not have it, or your actual specific phone. Like I know iPhone will have different emojis that another, and then also if your phone is a like different, like my phone is pretty old, so it won't update to things. So like there's a lot of times when emojis or emoticons won't even show up on my phone. It just is a question mark too. So I think that like kind of plays into it as well. But I think it's like just a mindset that it's kind of like the basic standards ones that then people just keep reusing them all the time.
Yeah.
Some other ways that the emojis are used are kind of within like fan signs. And you'll see that a lot with members, what they are given. Like a lot of, if you've ever watched a fan sign, the members are given toys and presents and stuff when the, you know, fan comes up to them and gets their autograph. And so a lot of times it becomes like a fun thing to get them something that's like themed with that. And I think that's just like also just something that like everybody likes to do. We all like, when you want to give a gift to someone, you kind of like zero in on something like specific. Like I have a friend at work who we call Sasquatch, so all the time he's getting Sasquatch like stuff. Now he loves it, but like, you know, we all kind of just like zero in. And so like sometimes you see this a lot, especially if you like watch any of those videos. Like if you say Hyunwon from Monsta X, he's always getting turtle stuff because like his like animal and that sort of thing. So a lot of the times like it's used in the gifts that people give. I mean, or
I painted a picture of a turtle once, and for like the next 15 years my mother gave me every turtle tchotchke she ever saw. So I get it. It's a thing.
It's just one of those things. It's so funny that we like all, it's a thing we all do.
It's a thing.
It's
it's universal, really.
It's a universal thing. It transcends cultures and languages. We all do some things. So we're like, oh, everybody does that. It is kind of funny, especially because there are some times when like the animal things I think are a little not the best, especially some of the older ones. I know that it wasn't like a specific thing, but I remember very clearly in SS 501, one of the members always being called a donkey, and it was like an actual like play on what they look like. So I think there is that kind of level where sometimes this is like what they look like, and it could not
Be a little
be,
mean-spirited.
yeah, it's a little bit mean spirited, and you know, the idol has to kind of just like go with the flow, and
Yeah.
but like it doesn't necessarily
Rude.
mean that they like it, you know.
Don't be rude, man. If it's not a cute animal, like, okay, donkeys can be cute, but when you call someone a
Yeah.
donkey, it's generally not a positive thing.
I mean, unless it's like we call him the donkey because he's got a high kick or something, like, nah, nah.
I just think, like, you know, if we're gonna be doing the animal thing, it should be just personality based. Like, if someone's, you know, likes to nap all the time and sunbeams, that's a cat-like behavior. Okay? Call him a cat. If someone, you know, is, you know, has real go-to happy virus thing, that sounds like a golden retriever to me. You know what I mean?
I've seen 2 p.m. definitely does this. What the most I've seen of anyone so far. Performances too. So sometimes in concert, I know. So Astro, they have some stuff that they do, and there's a very specific song that whenever they do that song, they sometimes bring out some accoutrements to kind of dress up as animals. But 2 p.m. goes far with their performance stuff.
Yeah. Their line is called Zoo PM. They all have a specific thing. It's like a major merchandise thing. Like, I mean, within, you know, times you're going to a concert, you could also be getting trading cards or stickers with those Zoo PM characters on. So there's a lot of merch involved, and they do have a lot of concerts where they largely perform in these costumes because they've had them for so long, and it's just the thing that they do. So it's very tied to them. And I think in like just kind of general, JYP is the biggest pusher of this kind of movement because they do it in other like other of their groups, like specifically like Day 6, because I follow them. They have Denimals, which is their own thing, and while they don't dress up like Denimals, they've used them in different ways and like very specific ways. So they do have merch that you can buy, and it's specifically you see it especially with the past comeback when Sungjin and Jae were gone from the group. The other 3 were promoting as the 3-member even of Day. They actually used it heavily in their promotions for that comeback. Like, the music video is entirely an animated music video with the Denimals. All of their merch had Denimals tied to it. Every time you saw them, they had their versions of the Denimals, like their little stuffed animals with them. They even have a photo book that they did where it's like part like pictures of them out in like the world, and then also like part some of the cartoon, you know, Denimals in those pictures. And I mean, like, even to the point where on the album itself, it has like songs that are sung by the Denimals. Like, there's like the outro and the intro, and there's interludes that are actually Denimals. And I think it just creates a little bit more than just translators or like people talking on the internet about these things. And how like they like kind of transcend into this like booming business, and also kind of like, in a way, it's like a really neat thing to see how they're like able to take them and then take them into like a more artistic way too, because I think that actually worked really well too, especially kind of where they were at time, because it was during like the very height of the pandemic. So that meant that like they didn't have to be filming a music video with all the members in the crew there. And then also it meant that the members who were on hiatus could actually be part of this music video because they were represented in their Denimals in the music video, despite ever being on the song at all. So I think like there's like a lot of times that these like animals are like put into play that are, you know, obviously they're marketing schemes and to get more money, but like they can do some really cool things and some fun things within the like fandom, and just like how they're able to integrate them. Poor Sky's dog really has some opinions on this subject.
I'm sorry, I'm keeping her muted as much as I can.
Well, that's
It's
okay.
okay.
So just like FYI to the people who are listening, you might hear some animal noise in the background. We're having animal technicalities.
It's animal night.
Technicals.
Listen, on an episode that would really engender the sort of noises of animals in the background, this feels like a very appropriate one.
It's very true. So
So,
In case you do hear, just to give context, she is a 6-pound long hair chihuahua. If you hear the knocking or the banging, it is her tiny paw on a door. That's all it is. It
they're
sounds
so
like
small, so
it sounds
mighty.
like she is, shouldering into the door and using her entire body, but I don't think she is. She's just insistent.
yeah, that's okay.
So I think there's a part, just kind of like how we were talking about, you give gifts to people that are appropriate. I think even the animal thing, I know that when I was in college and I was on a overnight retreat with some people and we didn't know each other that well, but in order to get to know each other better, you kind of like try to play games or just, we knew each other's names, but not much past that. So I remember, just for the heck of doing it, we ascribed animals to each other just to be fun, because in college that's the type of thing you do. So, and again, I do think it's kind of a cross-cultural thing, because even so, not merch side and not official side, but within a lot of fandoms or within a lot of things, friend groups sometimes do that just to kind of have an inside joke of sorts. Or like Astro, they just tend to be kids that like to do skits in the first place. They're always doing some super random skit. It is not always an animal skit, but every once in a while it does become an animal skit, just because why not? So then all of a sudden they're doing crazy animal stuff. So
like, I think that it also kind of is one of those things that you always, one of your defaults, like especially when you're younger, you talk about your favorite animals. And that's very like cross-cultural. But I also, specifically in Asian countries, I think there is a higher concentration on focusing on animals, because it is ingrained in a lot of their like traditions and cultures, like the Chinese zodiac and that sort of thing. And like how different animals represent different things, and also like names could mean different animals. And then like, like things like the tiger, which is like very strong, and it's like a big thing, like a symbol. And there's other things that I'm just not, like, I don't know of, but I think that kind of ties into this too. It's just like culturally, it's something that they probably do a lot. Like we do it, but like they do it a lot because it's ingrained in their like culture and kind of their beliefs and that sort of thing. So it kind of like plays into that as well. So I think there's always just like animals are always tied to people in a way.
Yeah, and definitely that like Chinese zodiac thing. I think that does come up a lot whenever, because they love all talking about what year they were born, and then it does come up quite often whatever animal was that year, and they'll tie personality traits to that and stuff like that. So it does come up a lot.
Yeah, and we see that in dramas too, like that there's a lot of dramas like Hwayugi and stuff where they deal with like all the different zodiac gods and things like that. So yeah, it's just everywhere, like in the culture and everything, and so it makes sense.
The little animals they create are really cute.
Yeah, so some of the like the specific ones that you'll see kind of commonly would be things like cats or tigers. Dogs are very like specific, because it usually means puppy, and it's usually the maknae or the cutest one in the group always. Bunnies are big. Chickens are
big bunnies. Big bunnies.
There's a lot of hamsters too. Like I when I was looking into a lot of groups have a hamster on there, which I don't know, maybe because they're cute.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, fox and wolves. That's a big thing too.
Wolves.
I am curious, and I have to say this because I don't very, very, very closely follow a ton of girl groups, but I feel like boy groups do the animal thing a little bit more often.
They do. I also noticed this.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't follow enough girl groups where I'm in it to be focusing on their animals,
or at least merch wise. As far as you're bringing up the JYP groups, for instance, like
because like Miss A didn't have that when they were doing, and it was like the same time that 2PM was doing it.
I feel like when I was looking into it, most of the girl members that I would see that had this, that were like a hamster, or there's one who's a raccoon and a bunny, but it was more them individually and less like that there was an animal for every group member. It was more just like this specific one did something once that memed into their raccoon, you know, or whatever. So yeah, it doesn't seem like it's as much of a part of the group as a whole.
Yeah, I wonder if it's that it's just like in girl groups, it's more of like a lot of them personifying a lot of different ways too. Because I do feel like there are groups, like Dreamcatcher does it a lot, but I feel that there are other groups that like talk about like a person being like a type of animal, but it's never like the actual assigned one, or at least that I know of, because I'm not part of their fandom. But then it could be like another time they're like this, so it's more if they're referencing them at that time to the specific animal, as opposed to it always being that one animal.
Kind of like the situation or the action, or when you did this you kind of looked like a puppy. Haha puppy. You know. I mean, like Dreamcatcher. I mean, Dreamcatcher, again, they don't merch, they don't tie official stuff to it, but I mean, they went on Weekly Idol, and then that became like something they discussed.
And like they sort of do in a way, in a little bit of a way on the merch side, not a lot, but I will say that when Xion went and did her solo album, she identifies as wolf, and it's like a thing for her. She identifies as a wolf. It's like her thing. So when she was doing the promotions for her Paradise single, the artwork for it is a wolf. Like it focuses on like that kind of motif. So like in the like smallest little way, it's there. And I do think that they like would probably like on V Lives like draw their character or draw the characters, you know, because they're very big on like they love who they love, like, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like, you know, they're like, I personally just love this animal with all of my heart, and I am it. Nobody's taking it away from me.
Like, it's a big deal to them. Yeah, and it won't just be like, I mean, some of them it'll be, yeah, I'm this animal, but then they'll like infuse some of their personality into it. I'm this type of. They're just really, really funny about it.
Yeah,
it's really cute.
I feel like, you know, girl groups in a lot of ways are sort of policed stronger than guy groups, so they don't really have the opportunity as much, like most girl groups. There are exceptions, obviously, like a Dreamcatcher, to like sort of have, you know, oh, this kooky wacky one, she's gonna be the, you know, puppy or whatever, like, because they all have to, you know, present a, you know, a facade to the world, otherwise, you know, because women always get criticized more than men do, let's be honest. So,
and this kind of ties back into like maybe their fandoms are more centered on they've picked like themselves what they're gonna use for the emojis, and so it's just like a thing, you know, in the fandom. Like, you know, the translators are using that to help them out. Like people who don't want to have to write out their entire thing, or they're on their phone typing, they'll put the emoji, or you know, when like you see it a lot in fan art too, where the like fan artists will actually like make the people into those animals too. So I guess the like what I perceive to be is that with girl groups, it's more fandom driven animal selection than the company kind of backing that up.
It's not like the company's like, hey, we're gonna assign animals to all you girls. It just seems like, it seems to happen more often with the dudes for some reason. Official side. I feel like sometimes, and there's not even a particular group I have in mind, so like don't come after me about it. I do feel like sometimes some of the girl groups, it's not that they're just police. It does feel like they're not given quite as many silly fun opportunities
to show off their personalities,
or to show off their goofy you know, let's say that there's ASMR that you could do. Well, girl groups might have to kind of do more serious ASMR, whereas a boy group can be like really stupid silly with it and it still be considered charming. Whereas, and I do think that might be changing slowly over time. I do feel like newer, like, you know, the most recent, it does seem a little bit different, but
Yeah.
it feels like in the past the opportunities for the girls to be as silly as the boy groups just wasn't as often.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, like,
Yeah.
especially when you look at, like, we said Dreamcatcher, that's a thing, but like that's how their company runs. They if you've ever watched their interviews, they're wacky and crazy, and they will like just run over any sort of interviewer. Like, they don't care who they are. They are super outgoing and super crazy, and they have a lot of fun with each other, and they're allowed to do these kinds of things too. Like, they're just, you see them doing like the fun skits, and then also like Yoohyun can just go and play some games live on YouTube. You know, she's like they're allowed to do that sort of thing. So I think that like their group is allowed to be kind of that wacky crazy, and it doesn't mean that like not everyone is doing it, and it doesn't mean that everyone wants to do it as well. So like that's
Right.
also a thing.
I mean, and that is a thing. I mean, I would imagine every idol sees their job differently and sees how they fit in their group differently, and definitely has a different relationship with all of their managers or their company. You know, it's all an assortment of things.
And that's okay. You know, some people, you know, it's like it is a job with them, and that's it. And that's a perfectly
fine.
acceptable position to be in.
I wonder sometimes too if some of the lack of it coming from the company, if that has anything to do with maybe the perceived fan base too. Like, you hear a lot about the girl groups having more older male fan bases and stuff, and I wonder if that's just a perception even in some of the management companies, that they're like, well, you know, like 30-year-old men don't want to buy cutesy little crap, so we're just not even going to go that direction, you know.
And, you know, I find that so bizarre, because having attended a few of these virtual K-cons, it, you know, they have like, you can sign up, and I realize that like the market for K-con is younger, but all these girl groups, their fans seem to be teenage girls and gay men. So I don't know, like, I feel like maybe there still might be a market there, you know?
I feel like there is a market for that, but maybe they're just more like inclusive if the group is also strong fandom base in international spaces as well.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, because I feel like it seems like to me that males in Asia would be more accepting of these like cutesy things than a Western male. So that like that throws me off a bit too, but like it doesn't matter. Like, there's always going to be someone who's okay with it too. Like, if they want to collect stuffed animals, they do. And you do actually see the like people who do that in dramas. Not to say that dramas are like always real, but like they have some sort of perception of what like culturally is going on in the space that they are in. And so I don't know, it's a little weird and a little kind of up and down, and not as consistent as male groups seem to be, sadly.
So I want to talk about Astro, because I always want to talk about Astro, and I won't get way into
They're
this.
doing really great with their comeback.
Oh, well, I wasn't meaning to talk about them like that, but I will. Like,
yes.
She's like, screw this animal show. We're talking about Astro.
I will say for 0.2 seconds that they got their third win, and it's the first comeback that they've ever gotten more than one win before. So, and it was incredible. Their first, and they. In the past, they would only get wins on the non-network shows. It's harder to get wins on the big, you know, M Countdown and stuff like that. So they're starting to do that. So it's very good. They're having good things. Yay. Anyway, what I was going to talk about though was, and it's funny, when I was putting in the Astro information into our doc, I think I scared everybody with the amount of stuff I typed up for Astro. And I'm not going to say most of it. So I had to tell the girls that I'm not going to run through all this because it's unnecessary. The reason I want to bring up Astro though is because it's funny. So the first official stuff that we saw Astro wise with animals, they came out with a single around Christmas time, and then it became a part of an album later. There's a song called Merry Go Round, and they did, when I say they dressed up as animals, they just put on some ears and tails and did this cute song called Merry Go Round, where they also had instruments too. Like, if you want to go into symbolism with all that. But anyway, aside from that, the only thing that would ever come up was that Moonbin is a cat dog, because when he frowns, he looks like a cat. When he smiles, he looks like a dog. They bring it up all the time anytime he's on a variety show. And everyone's like, oh yeah, you look like a cat and a dog. Like, that's what they always say. So that was the main thing within the fandom for quite some time. And just because I wasn't as exposed to a bazillion different levels of animals, I assumed, okay, now that we have the merry-go-round animals, I figured that was kind of their official assignments, essentially. Oh, no. So then later on, they decided to do merch, which their merch line is called Roroha. And I think the members made the drawings for these characters. And when we saw the drawings first, and they all look like eggs. Like, they're all shaped like eggs. So we were like, oh, surely the actual characters won't look like these little eggs. Oh no, that is what the characters look like.
Chaos, let it rain.
And they all have super, like, cutesy baby talk names, which I can never remember all of them because they're not memorable names and they're just tough to remember. And as far as how they translate to relate to the merry-go-round characters, a couple of them might be the same, but most of them are not. Like, we just accept it as it is. It's fine. So then, like we were just talking about with groups that have their unofficial character, animals as well. Well, then Astro has a heck ton of different
variations.
So I was curious. Recently, I saw anytime they would do an Unu translation, they kept putting a cow. And I'm like, dude, I'm so confused, because to me, he should be a bunny or a deer. Like, why on earth is he a cow now? I don't understand. So I had to go ask my buddy Jane, like, do you have any idea why he's a cow?
Shout out to Jane. She always
has
the info we need.
So it was an older, and I don't know if I've even seen it before. She was able to pull it up like within 2 minutes. I'm like, girl, how'd you find that V Live from like an eternity and a half ago? Something about it was nostrils, like looking like a cow. Like, and long eyelashes. I don't know. And so that proves, like, I'm deep in the fandom, and I had no stinking clue why on earth he was a cow. I knew that he ate beef a lot, but, like, I don't know. So
that doesn't feel like the association you make. He's a cannibal.
That would be kind of a really sick way to have an animal.
I bring it up because they have joked like that before. Like, anyway, because he talks about, anyway. So, they do talk about Jin being super slow all the time, which you think, okay, then he's a turtle. No, he's a sloth. So they talk about him being a sloth a lot. And for some reason, Rocky is now an otter, which I admit he looks like an otter. So, but for a long time, he was the one insisting he was a wolf. Like, in the most awkward moments, he would be like, I am a wolf. And then he would, like, howl and just be goobery with it. So, like, really, Astro's whatever animal they want to be at that given time. Heard about it?
It's all about how you feel, man.
It's cute when the squishy babies are like, no, I'm a wolf, I'm a tiger, and you're like, sure you are, baby.
Well, so then
if you say so.
But then I get slightly annoyed, because it's like, okay, official character for Unu is a bunny, right? All of a sudden, recently, Sanha's like, I'm a bunny. I'm like, no, we cannot all have the same animal now. Like, you guys at least have to have different animals, or I'm gonna be super lost.
They're morphing into each other. They're becoming one Gundam animal. One well,
I was about to say, like wolf for EXO.
Wolf.
Yeah.
The wolf.
Which, by the way, it literally is playing in my ears right now.
I felt it.
That's like the dumbest song. I love it. It's so
I love it too.
It's so bad, but so good. Okay.
The one other thing that I forgot for Astro's official characters, so they have silly little cutesy names. I did want to talk about Sanha's silly little cutesy name though, because it's Poo Poo, like Poo Poo. Well, he always does and the P and the B are always Poo Poo. That's his little sailor thing that he does all the time. That's been a thing. And now that he's been on variety shows recently, it's becoming a very popular thing on variety shows with him. Everyone mimics him doing that. So that one actually makes slight sense, but everyone else, I don't know what's going on. So, and MJ, because he does duck lips a lot when he's being goobery, there is a character that's a duck that has a very funny, like big squishy cheeks. It's a stuffed animal duck that's very popular in Asia called Fan Fan Chu. So everyone says he always looks like that. So on the fan signs, just like we've mentioned, like a lot of people give him those ducks and stuff, and he'll put little glasses on them and whatever. So yeah, don't think too hard with Astro. Just accept the fact that like Moonbin is a cat dog and everyone else is whatever they feel like they want to be.
There you go.
Yeah.
So since we talked about 2PM, I'll like tell you, theirs are solidified. There's no changing, and they've been the way forever. And they're pretty like chill until a certain member, and I'll get to them. So again, they do a lot with their merch. You'll see them on stickers and fan sign tickets and that sort of thing. You'll see them also use these things in their like solo concerts too. And then also you'll see other like members merch in their little animal, but with like the costume of another character. So like if it's like, you know, Junkei's concert, you could find like Junho in as his little guy and with Junkei's costume in it. And especially with they sell a lot of keychains, and that you see that a lot in that too. So like that's like kind of the big thing. So very quickly, Junkei is Pankei, he's a panda. Nick-kun is Koala-kun, he's a koala. Taekyon is Oak Cat. It's a cat. His is a little bit different because his is like a specific brand for him. He draws it. He's got a full line of merch. And I think technically, legally now, it is not JYP property anymore since he's moved. So I guess technically it's not ZooPM anymore, maybe, possibly. But you'll like see it. He has, I mean, it's a full line. He like draws it everywhere. He like has the stuffed animals, but also he has like, you know, calendars that like he'll sell t-shirts and that. So it's like a little bit more than just what like the rest of the 2PM members have. So Wooyoung is Pyong, he's just a chicken. Junho is Pen Pen the penguin. And then finally our maknae, my bias, my favorite, Chansung. He's Chanana. He's banana.
I love it. But the banana has abs.
Yeah, the banana has abs. It's because that he really, really likes bananas. Like he can eat like 40 in one sitting. A lot of the time it has Jungwon, which is his cat, on it. Like for the most part, it's that. If you've ever seen any like 2PM stuff, there was like one time they did for like one of their what like the little videos they do during concerts. They had this like one like video thing where it was a cat that's like went around to show off what everybody was doing, and he ended up adopting that cat after that thing. So like that's why the cat's there. But yeah, Chanana, and he literally comes out in a banana costume, and it's there, and
it's not like it's some lame banana costume. Like
no,
it's
these are like
stiff and
full
formed
on costumes. It's not like, you know,
Elaborate.
a t-shirt that looks like a banana. It is a costume, and they like run around and then they like mess around with each other and like have fun with it. So it's a lot of fun to see them on stage doing that sort of thing, and like just it's like very wacky.
Hasn't there been a moment like when if he falls down in that thing, or you know,
all of
ends
them
up, like how do
they
it's
body
really
slam
funny.
each other all the time, and so it's like two people like go flailing on the floor because it's this big foam costume, and they're trying to like another member trying to pick them up and then falling and doing all this stuff.
I'm sure the staff people that like have to make sure that the costumes are in okay shape are just staring at this like
they're
what
like,
the crap are you guys doing?
We'll just like put it in as a perishable. We're gonna toss them like every like
Don't worry
2
about
days.
it. Don't worry
Don't worry about it.
I think it's fun how much they enjoy like
Yeah.
It's clear they're having fun with it. Like, if it was, they probably would have stopped doing it by now.
Yeah, at this point, they have
You
freedom
know, like,
to say no.
Yeah, they could have just been like, we're not doing the stupid costume thing anymore. No. Still going. So. You gotta assume they're on board.
In flying, they don't have any official stuff, but they just refer to themselves as animals sometimes. Except for Hun. He's a cat.
He is a cat.
He's
a
He
cat.
identifies as a cat.
It's not a persona, it's his actual being.
Yeah.
He's just a cat.
Like, he periodically will meow and not be embarrassed about it.
Which is so funny. As if you ever know his personality, it doesn't fit to meow just randomly. That's not on him. Little emo boy, and he's like, I'll meow. That's it.
I'll meow and I won't be ashamed about it. Like, I'll just meow right now.
But like, I'll like run off like with a red face if I ever have to do cutesy stuff.
Yep. Make me do anything else, but if it has to do with a cat, I don't care. I will be a cat. I wanted to double check because I probably would have been able to guess what their animals were, and I just quickly asked Twitter, and they had a little video of he made shirts to where he put all the animals on the back of a shirt in the formation of how they stand when they're performing as a band. And he was like all describing it. He was very proud of these shirts. It was very funny. He's like, this is who we are. It's like, okay, buddy.
Us.
Us.
This is
We're a band, and this is us.
this is the real us, okay?
That's pretty much what he was saying. Recently, when Sunghyub had his solo stuff and he would be promoting, he had various interviews, and one of them, they said, like, you see, for some reason they were trying to say he was a puppy, and he's like, I guess so, but my fans call me a fox, so I really don't know what to tell you. I guess I look like a puppy. And then he goes, puppies are kind of sexy. And they're like, the interviewer was like, what? What do you mean? And he goes, well, like, puppies think they're sexy. They don't know they're puppies. Like, it was just a very funny conversation.
No, baby,
That's
no.
why they're calling you Fox. You do real... Okay.
No! Sir, self-edit before you speak.
It was pretty funny. You can tell you're just like, this was a weird conversation. Oh, well. And then he just kind of moved on. He made them all laugh. I like that in interviews whenever, like, it's going awkward, but you could just tell the staff, whatever staff just starts busting up. They're like, this is awkward, but it's funny, so it's fine.
Yeah. It would be more awkward to stop it, so they just let it keep going.
Yep.
17 does not have official animals.
That'd be a lot of official animals.
That would be a lot of official animals, but one member of 17,
It might
I
be
believe,
easier for them to do official animals.
Yeah, they'd get to use all the emojis.
Yeah.
Like,
there's one member of 17 who I believe truly does believe that he is a tiger, and that is Hoshi, which I always find really funny because he's not like, he thinks it.
You know what?
But you know,
He can
if you
do whatever he
believe it,
wants.
if you believe it,
If
sir,
he
you're a
believes in it.
tiger with your cute little chubby cheeks. Maybe a baby tiger. Like, anyway, so he believes he's a tiger, which made his first solo drop called Spider particularly confusing. Yes, so if you're new to the Carrot fandom, which is the 17 fan name, if someone says tiger, they only mean Hoshi. That's it.
I mean, you also got one that, like, everybody knows their animal. Like, everyone who knows Wanho knows he's a bunny.
Bunny.
Like, it's
he's
just,
a bunny.
just like even if you didn't even know that, like, animals were associated to, like, K-pop people, everybody knows Wanho, bunny.
Mm-hmm. And Kai from EXO, he's a bear, like a teddy bear type situation.
I always like Sungjin as a bear, and he just like seems like Papa Bear, you know?
Yeah.
He
does
just
look
like
like a bear.
works.
Yeah.
Or like Wonpil is also a bunny, and it's like really funny because during one of their concerts, someone on the staff, their touring staff, made them, like, everybody like specialized like sweatshirts, so they all said different things and it was all inside jokes. And so I guess Swanpill's like thing was like he would always pretend like he was running away. And so like I can't remember what exactly he said, but he was like Tuck, which like is part of Bunny or whatever. And then like to like reference that he was always like leaving or hopping the fence. Like he'd hop the like gates to go on. It was always funny.
It would be an interesting thing to check, especially like if you're multi and you stan a bunch of different groups that do the animal thing, to see if you like one day you sit down and check out what all the animals are and you're like, oh, that's weird, like I stan all the bunnies, or I stan all, like it would be an interesting little experiment to do to see,
little mini study,
if maybe that's your, sometimes you're like, people are like, I don't know why I stan who I stan or who I alt or whatever, and then you're like, you bias bunnies, I see that now. Like,
there's someone who always shows up on my TikTok for your page, and she decided that she was going to make a spreadsheet because she was like, I wonder like who my bias is for real. And she made a spreadsheet and she has it like so she could like pick off if there were like the main vocals, rapper, dancer, that sort of thing, so she could like figure out what was going on. I wonder if like she'll expand to that. And she seems like she would expand to that if she thought of it.
That would be just such a weird thing to be like, I don't know, because like I like the rapper over here and I like the dancer over here, and then one day just like this sign goes on and it's like, oh, chickens. Like,
yeah. I think she does like have zodiac signs though. I think she did do that. So like maybe that's
that could be a thing.
I mean, it is a fun thing to think of. Like, oh, I only like weird chickens. Okay.
I want to mention the Stray Kids ones just because they have a couple of really unique animals. So they have SK Zoo. I mean, they're JYP, so I mean, this,
it doesn't roll off the tongue as well as Zoo PM. Like,
no.
it's both a great name for what it is and also a delightful pun. Like,
right. I don't even remember who's who, so you can come after me. It's fine. I'm not deep into the Stray Kids fandom. It's just I looked them up. One is a pig rabbit hybrid, which it's like I have to sit here and like consider what that would even look like.
Well, wouldn't it kind of look like from
Pig rabbit.
Yeah, you were beautiful. You were beautiful.
Pig rabbit. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So a rabbit with the pig's nose, possibly. But I did not go look and see what SK Zoo looks like. So it might look totally different than that. And a quokka.
Quokka!
They're super cute.
They're so cute, and they have no natural predators in the one little island where they live. So they'll like, if you go to this place, they'll like come up and like hang out with you, and they always look like they're smiling, like they're very friendly, cute little.
They're super cute.
They're so cute. Sorry, I just really love quokkas.
I didn't even know about quokkas until like a couple years ago. I was like, what is that smiley thing? Like, I must know more about them.
It's like you'll sometimes see them in like, selfies where it'll be like a person sitting there and they'll have just like this smiling, adorable little rodent just like next to them, just seemingly without fear because they do not have any fear because they have no natural predators.
One of the things that just I don't know how it fits in, but it just felt like it should be mentioned was Monster X being on the We Bare Bears episode, because even though they weren't there as bears, but it just somehow seems like it fits here. But what I found interesting, because I was looking up, like they have the Two Tuck Gum collaboration there, and
animal-like creatures,
which are apparently bears when I looked it up. And then when I was looking, I couldn't figure out, like my Google abilities are lacking, I will admit this, but it looks like they both started, like the episode came out in 2019 and the Two Tuck Gum came out also in 2019, and I was like, that's like a weird coincidence that they like were on the bear, like, so I just sort of wondered what came first, like if it was like, oh, we're doing this bear collab, we should also be on the bear show, and
I do know they got on the We Bare Bears because of a fan sending a message to the creator of We Bare Bears.
Yeah,
so it was
that
entirely
was like
fan driven.
2018. So like it was just an interesting coincidence that like that they're doing bears, but like that's not helpful when you're talking about like emoji conversations or something.
True,
like
no.
there are not that many different bear like emojis that you could use. So those two-tuck gums are all, I mean, they're all basically the same thing, but different colors.
They
So.
come in different colors and have different accessories and different
Yeah.
facial
Yeah, for sure.
You
But
gotta
it's
get
not
'em
like,
all.
you know, like the BTS, the B21, like, or whatever it is, the BT21,
I think they're
I don't know.
B21.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
and it's like they're all vastly different characters.
Well,
like
they
very,
created-
very different. Yeah.
They themselves created those characters
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
Yeah. So
artists.
and not all of them are animals. So, but you know, the two-tuck gum one is always a little surprising to me, that like just how similar all the merch is. But well, not all the merch, but like all the characters. But
The We Bare Bears episode's really fun though, and
mhm.
I don't remember exactly what is said, but there was a scene from it where Ice Bear talks with Shonu, and it's very purposely like Shonu is
Yeah.
Ice Bear is Shonu. They
Yeah.
are the same person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like that will like try to do like threads where they match up their, you know, personal group members with We Bare Bears, and I'm like, oh, but Monster X really.
Monster X already did it.
It's
And
them.
Been there, done that.
Like
Yeah.
none of them ever work, even with like, because I've seen like people do it with like day 6 members. I've seen them with 2BMs, and I'm like, still, it just doesn't work like it does with Monster X. Like, you guys, it's perfect. We gotta leave it alone.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned before about Thai actors.
yeah, so like Thai actors also kind of do the emoji thing, but they're not always animals. Like they can be lots of different things. So like for example, like a well-known actor, Tae Wan, his emoticon is the sun. So they always use the sun when they're, you know, in the translations and things. And like Mew's a sunflower and golf is a soccer ball. But some of them will also have animals. So it's really a free-for-all. Like, you know, Papa Earth is a bunny, which I think he should be a bear. I'm gonna be honest. Like, but you know what? I didn't pick it. But very astutely picked, Fluke is a little baby chicken. So that works. So it's like, it's a real free-for-all. It's just like, we're gonna take one thing about your personality, and we're going to apply an emoji to it, and that's just what everyone is just going to suddenly use one day, and there will never be any argument about it. It'll always just be like, yes, that's the perfect emoji for them, moving on. So, they get like any emoji. Any
Yeah.
emoji.
I have noticed it a little bit with Chinese actors as well. Like the animal emoji thing.
Mhm.
But none that like that I follow closely enough that I'm like, oh yes, there's the bear or the dolphin or
Mhm.
whatever. But it's there, definitely.
I really think that it's, you know, because of the translation thing, it just makes it sort of an easier shorthand for, you know, getting things out in tweets. And, you know.
And fast too. I think especially if you're doing like live tweets as well.
Yeah.
I think it helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And in case you don't know, we as a podcast group, we have emoticons that symbolize us. We do drinks. Like, in case you haven't caught on to that on our Twitter
Mhm.
or on our website.
Yes.
The reason
That's
we do
our
that
emojis.
is, in case you haven't heard this story before, the reason we do that is 3 of the 4 of us, our Twitter handles include drinks already. So
Mhm.
we decided to run with it. So that's why.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that listen, the birth of an emoticon, right here. We've got an example of how emoticon nicknames can be born. Even though technically, my emoticon is sake because
Yeah,
There's no green bottle of soju.
there is no soju emoticon. Get on it, emotes. Come on now. Ay, 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 ay. This is prejudice against me, a sojuaholic, happening right now.
would we like to talk about music?
Yes, we
Yeah.
would. Since we've been talking about all of the groups that, you know, have animals, you know, as their personalities, there's also many a song that might be animal themed, animal related in certain ways. There's many of them. So we're gonna come up with like a little playlist of ones that,
A little.
you know, and I say little, but I am lying because mine is quite long. The ones that I came up with that I personally like. So
Yeah. When I was coming up with my list for this, I was like, oh, there's a lot. Oh, there's a lot. And then I just kept on adding more and more to the list. And I was like, oh, this isn't easy. So, because sometimes we do these things where like,
I was just talking, totally forgot I was muted. So I was like,
she was really getting into it too. I'm like, girlfriend, you're muted.
what I was wondering was if we wanted to narrow it down, like, is it only animals? So like no birds, no insects, you know, or are we just gonna free for all it goes?
I think we should free for all it. Like it's animals, but loosely, like insects and stuff can be part of it.
Yeah,
sounds good.
I will preface with, because this is a thing that I've noticed over time, and then I went, and there's even more than I knew, of course. So butterflies.
Oh, very popular.
Many butterflies.
We could do just a playlist on butterfly.
Really?
Yeah.
Butterflies, spiders, like we can have a whole insect playlist.
True, but like butterflies in and of them, like there's a lot of darn butterflies. And I will say, like last year, I'm fine with butterfly songs as a whole. I really am. But when I hear too many of them in a row, I get really tired of butterfly songs.
I don't like butterflies anymore.
Because it was during a comeback and there was a girl group that had a butterfly song. It was a fine butterfly song. But I was so tired of that butterfly song. Like I was like, and I already and I think during the same time, I want to say that ATEEZ was coming back and they were doing Dancing with Butterfly Wings. I'm like, if anyone else talks about a freaking butterfly right now, I'm going to lose it.
Meanwhile, Jackson Wang slipping in there with Papillon just to throw you through a loop.
Dreamcatcher always has butterflies in their music videos.
Yeah, for anyone unaware, Papillon is French for butterfly, just so you know. If you're just like, what the fuck is that? What is she talking about? All right, so we're gonna come up with the ultimate animal playlist. Woo!
I will say my list is probably not near as long as you guys's.
It's okay.
You know,
It's all right. We probably got some crossovers too.
For sure we do.
Yeah.
Right, who wants?
How about I start and we go in age order and just see what happens. So, what do I want to pick first here? Gorilla by Pentagon.
Great song. I will have to go with Alligator by Monsta X. Obviously.
I am going with my favorite song from this group, Lionheart by Girls' Generation.
Oh, that was on my list too. So good.
So good.
So good.
This is a new one for me, but it seems very timely. Just this week, PH1 in Palo Alto dropped a song called Mung Pal. It's about their dogs, and it's like, it's the cutest freaking thing. They like howl at the beginning, and then they start laughing and all the proceeds go to like dog rescue in Korea or something. So, you know, go pay for the download and help support the puppies.
Joe Kwan's Animal.
Oh, that was next on my list. All right. All right. Great song. I'm gonna go with a. Should I go with a new one or a classic?
Go classic.
Go classic. We're gonna go with Kim Jong-kook's Black Cat Nero.
Yes.
It's
Turbo.
Yeah, Turbo.
Technically, it's Turbo.
Yeah, technically it's Turbo.
Members credit.
Yeah, that's true. I only ever see him perform it these days, so you know.
I also had that. Yes.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go with one that, like, you might not know is an animal song per the title, but it's Red by Hyuna. And just as a background to know why it is an animal song is that in the chorus, she does the the syllable game where you take one word and the last syllable of that word becomes the first syllable of the next word. So she ties monkey to Hyuna in the chorus, and that's why. And there's also a monkey in the thing, and it's a good Hyuna song if you're looking for a good song.
So as the one article I read a blog post on Like Soupy, and they mentioned this, and I thought, yes, I too will not discriminate against extinct animals. So Dinosaur by Afternoon is
That
Also
was
on
on
my
my
list.
list as well. That was also on my
Yeah.
list.
I will say Wolf by Woo-sung from The
Oh.
Rose.
Oh, we were.
yeah on my list
I was
for
like,
sure.
Which one's it gonna be?
Who's gonna get it?
Who's gonna say it? I'm gonna go with Taemin with his song Tiger. It's
Oh,
a
good one. Good one.
It's a good one. I recommend this song.
I'm gonna go with, there was a collab between Luna, Solar, and Honey called Honeybee. It's so good. So Luna from FX, Solar from Mamamoo, and then Honey from EXID.
I'm gonna go with Tiger Inside by
Oh, that
Super
was
M.
on my list. That was on my list.
That's a good one. Tigers. Hey.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, Pentagon again, because someone's on a Pentagon kick these days anyway. The title is called Naughty Boy, but in case you go look at the way it was promoted, or even what the song is about, it is about a boy who turns into a frog. It's all about frogs. It's froggy. As far as why, I don't know, but it's a fun song, okay?
You're like, I just like it. You don't need to know anything more than that.
Frogs.
I'm gonna go with Red Velvet's song Mosquito.
I'm gonna go with Jam & Butterfly, which is a collab between DPR Live, Crush, and Eej, aka J from
Nice.
That was on my list too.
to get a butterfly in.
Get a butterfly in there for Sky.
Some butterflies are fine, but we should not have all butterflies all the time, unless you make a
Only-
butterfly playlist, and that's fine. But you have to be in the
Only
right
butterflies.
headspace for that.
Only butterflies.
I'm gonna go with Lion by G Idol.
Ah, that's on my list too. Good one.
The Curse of the Spider by Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
Great song. Okay, I'm gonna go with Animals by Super Junior, which I found was like a really chill vibe for them. Like it was
That was one of my favorites that they released it like
mhm.
last year, I think.
Yeah.
It's fairly recent. Tracing, I think it's how you pronounce their name. Wolf Baby.
Wolf Baby. That was on my list too.
TRCNG, if you're wondering.
See, I'm gonna go with, we got to give all the pets, all the animals some love. So I'm going with Aquarium by Wobble, which is probably really about, guys who keep a bunch of girls on a chain or something. But, whatever. Aquarium.
Listen, we're taking it at its literal meaning right now. And that is okay.
Cat's Eye by Astro.
Hmm.
We'll have a link to this playlist just in case you're curious on Spotify. It is not under Cat's Eye. Like, it's in Korean. So
Oh yeah,
just check
Black
our
Cat
playlist.
Narrow is also in Korean. But yeah.
I'm like kind of stuck between which ones I should pick. I'm gonna go with an oldie but a goodie. We're going Shiny's Woof Woof.
Oh yes. Good.
Ooh.
Good.
Ooh.
Oh gosh. Which one should I do next?
I know.
Another oldie. It's Black Cat by 4 Minute.
Nice. That was also on my list.
Let me think. I'm gonna, stick with my aquarium fish theme right now, and I'm gonna go with the song "Goldfish" by Caution and Cody Green. It's cute. I like it.
Jungle by TVXQ.
Oh, good one. I'm gonna go with I'll just give the tiger his due. I'm gonna go with Spider by Hoshi. New and fantastic.
just because, we need it. We need some top T.O.P. from Big Bang, Doom Dada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more in within the music video, but
It's still, hey, listen,
it still
we're
works.
the ones making the rules. We're the ones making the rules for
But
this playlist.
also, I haven't looked at the translation in a really long time, and I know for a fact that he the images in his music videos translate to what he's actually saying. So there's also a zebra in there, like monkeys and zebras, and just a bunch of stuff. So
Yep.
it
Lots
works.
and lots of exactly. I think I will go with another Acme song. I'm gonna go with "Whale" by Acme.
Acme's always a good choice.
Always, you can't go wrong.
Astro's Butterfly Effect. It is on their new album.
Oh, you
Get
who are
it.
just so anti-butterfly seem to be changing
I'm not anti-butterfly. I'm anti-playing butterfly songs back to back.
Well,
Well, now everybody has to put in a butterfly song.
Oh.
Fine,
can
okay,
do
everyone
it.
put in butterfly songs.
Let's go. I've got two others on this
let's
list.
go. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
All butterflies? All right, let's do this. I'm gonna go with Jackson Blake's Papillon just to bring this in.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with Butterfly by G-Dragon.
Love it. Beautiful.
I'm
All
also
right.
gonna go with "Butterfly" by who's it? That one? Sanny and Mad Clown and Bumkey.
Hey yo.
I've got another
Hey,
butterfly if
yo.
you need one.
I also have another butterfly one.
I'm gonna say Dancing with Butterfly Wings by ATs.
I no longer have another butterfly one. Then I guess
Here.
No, I can give you one.
I can give you one too. You can. How about you take the ATs one back?
Okay,
And I can
I'm
say
taking it back. I'm taking it back. Yum, 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 yum.
Astro has an old song just called Butterfly too.
Beautiful. All right, then my pick is 80s Dancing on Butterfly Wings.
And my pick is Butterfly by WJSN.
Ooh, I think that was the one that was in that comeback that I was like, there are too many butterflies.
There's also another girl group who has a butterfly that we haven't talked about.
Doesn't Luna have one?
Mm-hmm. And another one. G-Friend or
Yep.
I think it's
Luna has
G-Friend.
one.
Okay, I'm gonna admit that I don't remember which girl group it was that was playing the butterfly song whenever I came up with. Wow, there's a lot of butterfly songs.
Now that we just had the butterfly round.
Yeah. Woo. We could have done that probably wolf, butterfly, and just
Yeah,
put
we could
our
have
list, say.
pumped them.
I still have a song called Wolf on mine.
I've got
do, you,
By EXO.
do you enjoy that song?
Not by EXO, I said.
Oh, not by EXO.
I technically have two that refer to it. So
Listen, we make the rules.
do we want to do wolf now? Let's do a round of wolf.
Sure.
do a round of wolf?
I mean, I'll start with Bloody Wolf by Kim So-wol.
I already gave my wolf one earlier.
You can see Paradise by Xion.
Okay, that one. Paradise by Xion.
I'm going to go with Wolf by Hyuna.
And I'm gonna go with Fly With Me by I Am, which is sadly not on Spotify. I'm sorry. But go listen to the music video.
I've run out of wolves, but I will
That's fine.
give you a puma for
TXT.
TXT.
I mean, we could have also said the one wolf that we all know that we
Yes,
all
listen.
kind of hate but love is same. The wolf
Listen,
by
there's
EXO.
listen, there's certain songs that you listen to and you're like, this is so bad. I want to listen to it again.
I love it. The
I love
harmony
it,
part is
and
so
I hate it. The actual singing is incredible, and they performed it at one of their more recent concerts in the past couple of years, and the remix of it was it was sick, but the song itself is so stupid.
good.
And the dance with the no, I can't. I can't. Just and they're doing and you're just like, guys, I know you were young, but this was a misstep.
There is no way that all of the members enjoyed that choreo and song.
No,
There's no way.
no, it was embarrassing. Is it my turn again?
I don't know.
No,
What,
I think it's Sky's turn.
Okay. this is a random one I looked up. 101
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo, produced by Zico.
It's a good
101
one.
triple position. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that
it's
was
a
just
unit.
that was just like 3 members of 101. Yeah. I'm actually gonna go with a good song by EXO that's animal related, and that is the song "Bird" by EXO. Very nice, very chill vibes.
I'm gonna go with "Ode to Animals" by Oh Chill. They're like a indie rock alternative band. Great
Ooh.
band.
I'm gonna go with this is one I found when we were doing our research and stuff, and I quite like it, but Snake by Ajax. They like discover in the video, they like find a woman in the jungle and she like eats them all. She's a snake woman or something.
It's a pretty wild music video. Let's just say that.
Pretty crazy, but the song's also kind of a bop, so hey.
I didn't even have this on my list, but I know that it exists, and I'm surprised it hasn't been brought up yet. But Dog and Cat by TXT.
I'm gonna go with Black Mamba by aespa. It's a black mamba is a type of snake, if you didn't know. And also the song's kind of a bop too. Like, as much as I have reservations about the concept of aespa, the song slaps, you know.
I'm gonna go with a classic by many, but maybe like a little bit of a, maybe some people don't want it right now, but Like a Cat by AOA. It has to be on here.
That was on my list too.
I mean, it's such a classic.
I know. I've only got one song left.
I'm
tapped out. Like, you feel free to.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Bird by Wave to Earth.
Okay, Sky's tapping out.
I'm out.
So my last one from me is gonna be Dolphin by Oh My Girl.
Yes! How did I not think of that one?
Yeah.
The fact that it's not on my playlist now annoys me.
I've had, especially when they like showed up on KCON, like every single time that song comes on, like I get it stuck in my head. For my last one, I'll go with Pigeon by Dassutt. Dassutt. They're also an indie group. Very good.
I think for my last one, just because we haven't had this animal yet that I can remember, I don't think so. I'm going to go with Get You a Bunny by Shuggy.
I renege that I tapped out. I remember one.
All right, pull it in.
Okay. Yeah.
Bring up the rear.
Hit it.
Songbird by Infline.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought of it earlier and I forgot to put on my list. That's why.
Well, that's quite a list.
It is. I think this is like an exhaustive list of animals in K-pop.
There are more. There
are
are
definitely more.
I mean, I thought of afterwards, like as far as wolves go, the song isn't really, but like the video for Pretty Please by Jackson Wang has a lot of wolf imagery going on there.
Because of the, the metaphorical wolf, as it were.
Yeah, you could do like
horny dude.
All like stuff, like anything that like what's his face? Tiger, the producer produces always like a tiger in the music video, like EXID's Up and Down, there's a tiger that references him, you know.
Or I mean Tiger JK.
Yeah.
Basically, but he literally has a song called A Tiger Named JK. So,
So I think there's only one thing left to do, ladies. And I believe that would be that we need to have animals. And we need our fursonas.
Yeah, so when people are talking about us and translating our work, they
can just put a little animal.
They can have an animal version instead of the drink version.
Like, okay, I'm aware that
and we are not limited to emojis that exist, by the way.
No,
like
we can be
animal.
any animal that exists. So
yeah.
Are we allowed just like throwing out one that we think would be a good one for us, or do we want to just see what everyone else thinks first?
That I think that the others should try to ascribe first rather than the person owning whatever they want, because you know.
Okay.
This is gonna be hard.
I mean, unless we're stuck and we're afraid to say anything, then we're gonna have to just say what we want to be, or what we've been in the, like. 'Cause
Yeah.
again,
Okay, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and
Go. Do it.
what I think Sky could potentially be. I think
Okay.
she would be the bunny in our group.
I think she would be as well.
I can see it.
Like in terms of like, like kind of like, you go to every place and then like you're also like always doing stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm a bunny.
I think Jessie would be our group's cat. And I say this because, cats, if you're deserving of their affection, you'll get it in spades.
yeah, it's
But
hard
if
to
you're
please
not,
me.
but if you're not, you go
not.
and get the spite.
That's totally true.
Yeah, just, in the best possible way. You know what I
No,
mean?
I'm fine. You know what?
You're like, no. You're like, no.
No, this is it.
Yes.
Yeah, no. I don't know. It's Natalia.
Like, I sort of know what animal I think I should be.
No.
If we're all
That
stuck.
defeats. No.
I know it
we have to
defeats
go with-
purpose, but it's kind
Because-
of it's kind
because
of a
if-
more obscure animal that I think.
Because if
purpose
I
would
would have
want.
said like what I thought I was, it wouldn't have been a bunny. So like the
Mm.
whole point is for people
Fair.
to describe it to you.
This is hard. This is really hard because then I'm like,
I mean,
I can't think of animals. I'm like,
Suddenly,
I could
no animals
kind of go with
exist.
like puppy because in the best possible way, she has a bit of that, from Up, the dog that kind of
Doug.
swirls.
Doug the dog.
Yeah.
It's what she's saying. It's ADHD.
I mean,
Also because lovable and friendly and, all those qualities.
I would say this, but not really. But it's just like in terms of like, like you'll always be like, okay, I'm gonna go get a nap or something, and then I just like think like sloth, or it's like you're always like tired, but like not in anything past that, So it's
Right.
not good enough for me. Although I really like sloths; they're very cute.
I
They
love
are very
sloths.
cute.
Like, okay. Now I'm just gonna throw out what I think.
Okay.
Is this isn't even
You're gonna
the
do
episode.
Amanda's?
We're gonna do Amanda's. This wasn't even
Okay.
for the episode. But for Amanda,
See, I want to I kind of want to like do the like thing where it was like bear because it's like mama bear because
Yeah.
that's, but
Fair.
like
But that feels too easy.
I
Hmm.
don't know, just I'm trying to think of what I would just like what animal I would like think of as like a knitter or like a derby person.
I was actually
You know?
thinking of a knitter, and I was personally thinking like a sparrow or something.
Or like I guess a spider is a knitter.
yeah, but that has like weird connotations.
I know, but like
Like, we know that spiders are like important and necessary to the ecosystem and great, but like weird
Dude,
connotations.
Charlotte's Web, she's cool,
It's
okay?
a classic. It's a
Listen.
classic.
This is true.
as a former Floridian, spiders eat mosquitoes, and that's the best thing ever. I will never hate spiders because of this.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, as a Canadian, I see you. Like,
Yeah.
yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But I think like a sparrow, because you're really like, sociable and stuff, and I think, you're in lots of group chats and people
Okay.
want you to be part of their, thing, and so, you like to knit and like nest and things, so
I really still want an animal that's a derby person. What is it? Like, I don't know, like I was thinking like an armadillo or rhinoceros that already has like
Oh, yeah.
protective
Okay,
armor
yeah.
on to like represent the pads, but like that still doesn't.
Hmm.
Or maybe some sort of fish because they swim in circles and like that symbolizes the track.
That's true. And roller derby does go in circles. You turn left.
I mean,
Turn
this
left
is
and
less
hit your
about now what
friends.
like Amanda is and more derby person,
stress.
but like
two animals that are often associated with roller derby, but from the officials' perspective,
Well, zebra.
zebras and the flamingos, because the non-skating officials used to wear pink shirts, so
Ah.
there was a lot of zebra and flamingo things. They wear black now, but
okay.
but that was our Yeah.
I mean,
so-
it works because also everybody listening can't see it, but we see zebra behind her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's zebra print.
Which is
True.
why there's zebra print behind me, because I used to be a roller derby official. So
And like the checker
you know,
is like racing and
yeah, you kind of like my mom with the turtle stuff. Now it's zebra things. So you know.
So, if you were to have picked an animal for yourself, or what you have, because we've all been around the block enough on this earth that you've probably played the "What Animal Are You" game growing up at some point. So, what animals did you usually ascribe to yourself?
I honestly
Actually-
picked cat.
You
And cats have always been my favorite animal.
I always, I mean, in my Twitter handle and in my derby name, T-Rex, because short arms, 'cause which my family started calling me that when I was pregnant with my last one, because he was so big and my arms didn't reach past my belly. It was, yeah, they gave me one of those like grabber hand things for Christmas, because I couldn't do the laundry anymore because I couldn't get it out of our top loader, because
Oh.
yeah, it was pretty sad. So, but it made for a fun derby name once the baby was out and my arms were long enough to do things again. But they're still pretty short because I'm short. So.
What about you, Natalia? Because you wanted to tell us earlier.
So I think personally, the perfect animal that embodies me is a capybara. Now, I'm not familiar with a capybara.
Isn't it a little too chill?
It's extremely chill, and it likes to just chill out in hot baths, and it's cool with everyone. Like everyone in the
true.
animal
Okay.
planet, just like it's just like, yeah, we chill. They're also very hairy and chubby.
And cute.
They're the largest rodent on Earth. Like. All right, Sky. You said you didn't think you were the bunny.
Well, what's funny is I realized, so when my husband and I got married, and our married and dating life was very quick, so it's kind of in our dating phase, we decided that he was a panda bear and I was a bunny. I forgot that information. Totally.
Oh, all the people who know you best think you're a bunny.
I forgot. Because in college, I considered myself a fox. But
I could also see
Oh,
fox,
you can-
actually.
That's right, you're a fox. Hey, you.
Or like a dog, like the loyalness of a dog.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing.
yeah.
more of a Rocco
Cunning.
style.
Or like a herder dog. Like, you know, like
a sheepdog.
yeah, like the ones that like put
A
Wrangle
collie.
everything.
Yeah, wrangle
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, listeners, if you are just itching to tell us what animal you are,
Because technically, you know, maybe you're the ones who are supposed to give us our.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
actually, if you have any input on what you think we are, because you have been a loyal listener or something, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, tweet us.
I will be
man.
attempting to draw characters for us.
I'm so excited.
I like that in the group chat. Natalia's like, you can do it. I believe it.
If I give up, Natalia will draw them.
No, I believe you can do this.
No.
I believe.
You know what?
To me,
Maybe we should put
to me,
a goal.
if
No,
Astros-
Natalia's not going to do it. You're going to do it.
if Astros could look like eggs, I could do whatever the
Like,
crap we need
the
to
most
do.
I will do is I will take your sketches and digitize them in Illustrator. That is it.
I have a digital tablet.
Mhm.
I can do it digitally.
Okay.
I think you should do it.
We believe in you.
Yeah.
And you know what? I already know they're going to be so great.
I'm going to love it. I already know.
That, yes,
I'm
I
so
already
excited.
know that I think we are going to make them little avatars, you know, like little
Don't get ahead of yourselves, because they really
Maybe-
might not be. Because the
that
whole
maybe-
point was the fact that they might be really bad.
Nope.
And that's fine.
They're going to be
because,
the greatest
because
thing
you know,
ever.
they're going to be amazing. And I
Because
think
my
that-
drawing skills, they were really good in grade school. I won a book fair gift certificate for like $100 in 4th grade because I drew for the book fair advertisement. And I got a ride on a fire truck in 2nd grade because of my drawing skills.
The best part about this is like strictly on script with what an idol would say in a V Live when
But
Yeah.
it never developed after that. So
she's gonna make amazing things, and if you are one of our found family on Patreon, I'm sure we will make them beautiful desktop and phone wallpapers
oh my
that
god.
you can
I
download
love the idea of our listeners having us as their like.
phone background.
That's what they want, really.
Yeah.
Listen,
I think it might be
if
with
I know,
Beth. Like,
Yeah, like
you know,
Beth.
shout out to Beth.
shout out to Beth.
This is
She's
a fan.
a long time member of the found family, and she would make us her background.
No, they would do it like they'd see that there was a thing going around on Twitter again where you have to screenshot your like phone background,
Yeah.
but, like import it then and then screenshot and be like, look, and then take it immediately off.
Then replace it with whatever actually brings them joy.
Yeah.
Like,
no, who knows? This might bring them joy. You don't know. I don't know if they take the time to listen to us and join our
Maybe.
Patreon. We must bring
Now,
them
I will
some
say
sort of
this.
joy.
If I find that I have the ability to make not very good characters, we will see if I offer it up as a service for our Patreon people.
Oh.
oh,
You too can have a crappily designed character.
Hey, you heard it. Ladies, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary.
Sign up.
Again, I
tier-
reserve the
tier-
right for it to be pretty much just an egg. So
there'll
All
be
right,
our
all
found
right.
family. There'll be our egg family.
for all of our tier 3 found family members, gird your loins for the future of you as an animal. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have a whole little army of them, a whole little gigantic extended family of little creatures.
Perfect.
I was
I'm
like,
so
what did I get myself into?
I am
This is
so excited. I just
It's
wanna,
gonna be- I'm either going. No, here's what's gonna happen. You know how I'm gonna get so perfectionist about this. It's going to
Mhm.
become a problem, isn't it? I'm either going to just make really bad versions, or it will take me some time until I am satisfied.
Hey.
We're not promising that these are gonna be the greatest things in the world, like
Right.
drawn. We're just promising they're gonna be fun. And
Yes.
let us be honest. Sometimes I don't know. For example, there's this YouTuber that I watch called Edvasion, and his thing is that he draws incredibly terrible fan art of people and sends it to them.
Painfully terrible. Like, ooh.
Painful, like this man has no but it's hilarious, and the joy
Yeah.
that he brings others with his terrible fan art is the purpose. So
Yes. Yes.
just
There you
think
go.
of yourself. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. The joy. Think of
You're
the
right.
joy.
And
Think of the
that's
joy.
that is why I figured I would volunteer to offer up fun rather than, hey, have the artist do it. Like, here, we're gonna do something different. This time, something completely different. Like,
Unbeknownst
Hey.
to Sky, as soon as I get a hold of them, they're going on t-shirts. it's gonna be the animal.
you know, every
letters.
time you say things like that, I'm just gonna be more picky about the way they
It's
turn
just-
out. So it's
It's gonna
fine.
welcome to the new Noonanimals line.
But that's so good.
I know. I just thought of it and I was like, I need to put that in. Yeah, the certified Noonanimals coming soon. I'm so excited. Oh, Sky, it's gonna be wonderful.
Oh my god, can we have photo cards now?
We can totally have photo cards. We can have photo cards.
Oh my
Amazing.
god, we are becoming a K-pop group before our eyes.
Dude, from the very beginning, I wanted us to be like a K-pop group.
It took us 2 years, but we got here.
Yeah.
We got, hey, we've
all
been
of
trainees
We've been
this
trainees.
entire time.
We're finally debuting now that we have our animals.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was really holding us back, not having our
that was
animals.
it.
Anyway, if you want to become a new animal yourself, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/certifiednoonas to become a member of our found family, plus other fun things there as well. We love all of our found family, and they keep the lights on in this little enterprise we call the Certified Noonas Podcast, which you can listen to anywhere podcasts are found. But if you want all the links and all the goods and all the deeds, you can go to certifiednoonas.com, where all of those links are there. We got some other fun stuff there as well. We have an Instagram. We have a Spotify where all the playlists can be found. We have YouTube. And we have Twitter. Twitter is really the easiest place to reach us. But if you want all the newest, K-pop stuff, Sky keeps us up to date with all that on the Instagram. And we've got, we got all sorts of fun stuff. Though the Noon Animals don't exist yet. We do have a bunch of other merch also on the website at certifiednoonas.com. So if you want some swag, you can go there as well. Anyway, we hope that you have a fantastic week and that you keep staying safe, keep washing your hands, using that hand sanitizer, wearing a mask, taking care of you and your neighbors.
Get a vaccine if you can, please.
Get it, yes, get vaccinated if it's available, or if you're in Canada.
Good luck.
Good luck. Anyway, enjoy staying home if you're in Canada. So anyway, we hope that you're all having a great week. Stay safe and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.